Time to cook! Hooray! As you can tell by my festive dress, we are going to be cooking food with an ethnic flair today. I'll give you a second to guess what it's going to be. That's right, Korean barbecue. Now when you cook Korean barbecue, no, I'm just kidding. We're going to do authentic Mexican cuisine. Now I say that knowing full well that ain't nothing authentic about it. If I actually called it authentic, Anthony Bourdain would walk in here and kick my ass. So let's get rid of this and talk about a shredded chicken quesadilla that we're going to make for y'all today. We're going to go ahead and simmer down some chicken till we're ready to pull it apart. We're going to do some onions and peppers, a bunch of good cheese. We're going to get all glumpy and gloppy and melted and crispy and just excellent. Along with that, we're going to be doing an awesome fried rice that will make you quit the restaurants. So let's go over to the kitchen, to my stove, and we're going to go ahead and lay down some funky groove, if you know what I'm saying. Okay, to make our quesadillas, the first thing we got to do is prepare our chicken. And the first thing we do with that is we take our chicken and get it ready to go in. We've got our Dutch oven set on about medium-high heat. I'm going to put in about 3 tablespoons, 1, 2, 3, of oil. I'm going to take my chicken. I'm going to season it real quick on both sides. Well, just on one side, because I can season it once it's in the pot. A little salt. And don't under-season your food. When you go to a restaurant and stuff tastes better at the restaurant than it does because you're at home, because you're under-seasoning it. And so this is going to go in my Dutch oven. And chicken police, got to be careful. Alright, here's one. There's 2. And here's the last one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to brown this. Now when I got it browned on both sides, we're going to pull it out. And I'll let you see that in just a second. So we're going to come back as soon as this is brown. Okay, as we can see here, our chicken is turning the nice golden brown color. Now, it's not done. In fact, it's quite raw on the inside. But what we're going to do now is we've got it seared. We're going to take it up and rest it. Take it up. Sometimes it sticks a little bit. That's okay. And we're going to put it to the side. Now this here, that's not dirt. That's not gross. Those are yum-yums. And we're going to use these yum-yums. And I'm going to get a hair out of there. That's gross, dude. This is live television, Jack. And what we're going to put in the pot now is 1 onion, 2 bell peppers, 5 cloves of garlic that are smashed up, and I'm going to get some spices too. So there's my bell peppers, my onion. I also put 2 small jalapenos in there. Get those stirred around a little bit. Okay. 5 cloves of garlic that I mashed the hell out of. And 2 teaspoons of cumin. Get in there. 2 teaspoons of oregano. Get in there. And we take our spoon that I was able to get the hair off of, and we stir all this around. And as we stir, it sort of picks up some of the stuff that's on the bottom of the pan here. If it doesn't get it all up, that's okay, because we'll get that up with some liquid in just a minute. But we let this cook until the onions turn transparent and the peppers wilt just a little bit. Be about 2 minutes, and we'll come back when I'm ready to do another step. Alright, as you can see here, the onions are pretty well transparent and turning a nice little shade of brown. The peppers have wilted a little bit, so now I got to add some more junk. The recipe I have calls for 2 cans of peeled tomatoes and their juices. I ain't doing that. I'm putting in 1 can, and then this is a fresh tomato from my mama's garden that I'm going to put in there. Stir that in a little bit, and it adds a little juice, and it's going to calm the fire down a little bit, so that screaming and hollering and popping is going to go away pretty quick. I'm also going to put in a heaping tablespoon of sugar. Really, I'm not kidding. And after that, I'm going to put in the juice of 2 limes. I do it like this right here. I turn them over in my hand, and I just squeeze the piss out of them. I don't know if I can say piss on the internet. Am I allowed to say that? Well, the ESRB will kick me up a few notches for that. That's alright. There's 1. And here comes the other one. I just squeezed the pee-pee out of this one instead of the piss. How's that? My production assistant's laughing behind the camera. Alright, there we go. 2 limes juiced in now. Alright, and stir that up a little bit. Always stir it, make sure nothing's going on. Now, all this liquid has done what's called deglazing the pan, and all of that crusty stuff that was on the bottom is now in this mix, and it's got a chicken flavor to it. Once I stir this up, now, I'm not comfortable with the amount of liquid that's in here. And I know, oh my God, I'm going to panic, right? No, I'm just going to add a little water. Just about half a cup, 3/4 cup. Now that that's in there, I take my chicken that is not completely done, and I put it back in. And I don't just lay it on top, I let it get down in there, because I want this juice to go all over the chicken, and the juice is what's going to cook it. So, I get some of my gardeny goodness on top, get it all stirred up. Now I got to crank the heat back a little higher again, back up to around medium high-ish or so. I got to wait for it to boil. And when I mean boil, it's going to start doing all this number, and then once it does that, I'm going to toss the cover on like this, and then the temp's going to go down to low. Now, once I'm at that spot, we're going to be about, oh, I don't know, 45 minutes. But I want you to check it every 15. So, bring it to a boil, cover, reduce heat to low, 45 minutes, check every 15, and just stir. Let's come back when it looks a whole lot better. Okay, now that my chicken is simmering and I got 45 minutes to kill, I'm going to make what I called earlier a little fried rice. A reason I call it fried rice is because technically we fry the rice. You'll see. I got my pan up to heat here, somewhere between medium and medium high. I'll put in 3 tablespoons of vegetable. This is actually canola oil, but same thing. So 3 tablespoons. 1, 2, 3. There. Trust me. Okay? My heat's going. I got 1 cup of rice. This is going to turn into by something this big, because this little bit will feed like 4 people. So, put that in there on the heat. And it's sizzling. You can barely hear it, but I promise you it's sizzling. And we stir. And we stir, get the oil all over all of the rice, and get that rolling. Now before it gets to where it's cooking too hard, I want to throw my spices in, which is a ½ teaspoon of cumin, and a whole teaspoon of garlic salt. Alright, that's rolling. And then I stir, and I constantly stir this. You don't want it to sit around. So I'm going to stir this until it's golden brown. And once it's golden brown, we're going to toss in a few more ingredients. Alright, as you can see here, my rice is getting golden and brown. This is my 1 cup of rice. And now, once it gets this color, I need to toss in my onion. Now, the recipe I found called for a 1/4 cup of onion. I like onion. I think onion's awesome, so I put in quite a bit more than a 1/4 cup. But if you're not a huge onion fan, just toss in about a 1/4 cup, because you need a little onion flavor. If you really don't like onion, I guess you could throw in some onion salt when you put in the garlic salt, but I wouldn't do it. So I'm going to stir this up and keep going for about a minute. That's about how long it's going to take this onion to cook. So let's turn the camera off and come right back in about a minute. It's been about a minute, minute and a half or so. My onions are a little more translucent. They're a little more cooked. And my rice is begging for something to absorb because they're getting nice and brown. So what we're going to do, we're going to create some steam, Jack. Want 2 cups of chicken broth or chicken stock. This can here is 14 ounces, which is 2 ounces short of 2 cups. Don't open up a whole nother can for 2 ounces. That's fiscally stupid. So anyway. There's our chicken broth. And then it also calls for 4 ounces of tomato sauce, which is about half of this little 8-ounce can. Yeah, perfect. We got our chicken flavor in here, we got our tomato sauce in here. We stir it up to make sure it's all incorporated well. And then we bring it to a boil, just like we did with this chicken mixture. We're going to bring it to a boil, and once it hits the boil, we're going to kill that heat down to warm, if you have a warm, just the lowest setting you got. Kill it and let it go for 20 to 25 minutes. And you're not going to check this and pull the top off either. So, bring it to a boil, lid, heat down to nothing, walk away for 20-25 minutes.